Microgreens are little seedlings that are packed with an abundance of important nutrients like iron, magnesium, potassium, zinc, copper, calcium, vitamin A, vitamin E, and vitamin C, and they are a beneficial source of antioxidants. So today I'm going to show you how simple they are to grow indoors. First, I'm going to add some of my growing medium to my tray. I like to use coconut coir, and I'm using two 10 by 20 inch trays. The top tray is 1 inch deep and has holes for drainage. This tray rests inside the bottom tray, which is 2 inches deep and does not have any holes. I'm going to smooth it out evenly, breaking up any large chunks, and then gently tamp it down with a small 2x4. And then I'll water it, making sure the medium is moist throughout. Now I'm going to add my seeds. These seeds are from True Leaf Market. For this video I'm using broccoli, which is hardy, it's easy to grow, and it grows pretty fast. I'm just adding a nice, even, thin layer on top of my medium. The spacing of the seeds is pretty important. You don't want them too thin because the seedlings actually use each other for support to grow, and you want to utilize all of your medium, but you don't want to plant them too densely because they need room to breathe. If you do have too many seedlings in one area, they can build up moisture and get soggy and moldy. And depending on the type of seedlings you're growing, the spacing may vary. I'm just giving the seeds a light misting with a spray bottle full of water and then gently tamping them down with my 2x4. Next, I'm going to set another tray on top of the seeds and place an object, maybe 2 or 3 pounds worth, inside it. Once the seeds start germinating, they'll grow upward, pushing into the top tray, and this will help strengthen their stems. As you can see, they've already started to germinate on day 2, so I'm going to continue to keep them moist. I never want them to dry out. Days 3 and 4 look pretty similar. More seeds are starting to germinate, and again, I'm going to mist them with water. Day 5, they've grown a stem, and the top tray has started to rise, which is indicative that we chose the appropriate amount of weight. You don't want something too heavy where the stems can't support the weight of the top tray. You can also see little root hairs. Sometimes the looks of root hairs can mimic mold, but if you look closely, this is actually part of the growing process and is normal. And as always, I'm going to continue to keep them nice and moist. On day 6, almost all of the seedlings have shed their seed coat. The roots have found their home in the coconut coir, and the leaves are very yellow because they haven't been exposed to light yet. And this is about the perfect time to introduce light. So I'm going to put them under my T5 fluorescent light. The chains here are adjustable, and I want to put them about 3 inches above the seedlings. If the light is too far away, the seedlings will try to reach for the light and become leggy or stretched. And if the light is too close, the stems will be too short and they could burn. At this point, they're going to be drinking a little more water than they would previously, so I'm going to use my watering can and really make sure the entire soil bed is saturated. I'm also going to put a small fan nearby to help with airflow and to mimic wind, which will also help strengthen their stems. The seedlings turn green pretty quickly after they're exposed to the light, and at this point they're becoming more mature. Sometimes it's recommended that at this stage you water from the bottom, but I've never really had issues top watering. But I would recommend watering early in the day because at night when it's dark and wet is when mold can develop. On day 9, they're filling in more and becoming more bushy. If you want, you can give them a gentle pet, which will again help strengthen their stems a little bit and also brush off any remaining seed coats that are left behind. Day 10 for these particular broccoli seedlings is a good day for harvest. You can see that each seedling has 2 starter leaves called cotyledons. You want to harvest them at this stage before they start growing their true leaves. Once the true leaves begin emerging, they start losing their robust nutritional value, so I'm going to get ready to harvest. I've had people ask about whether you can reuse your growing medium. Some microgreens will regrow, but it's not really recommended to reuse for future growth. You can see that the roots occupy the majority of the soil bed, so you're already at a disadvantage for providing your new plants a happy growing place, but it also increases the risk for mold development. There's a couple different methods for harvesting. I find that a sharp pair of small, fine scissors works well. So I'm just going to gently hold a bunch of the leaves from the top and snip the stem as close to the soil as I can. I've found that the best way to store them is by placing a damp rag or towel in the bottom of a Tupperware, adding the micros on top, and then placing another damp towel on top of them, and preferably in a container with holes so they can breathe and not get wilty. Another question I get asked is whether you can use sunlight instead of grow lights, and the only problem I've had with this is that the sun is often too far away and the seedlings tend to stretch and get leggy. But if you do try this, I would recommend a south-facing window with maximum exposure. Or you can check out my DIY mini grow light stand video and build your own grow light. And the best part is you can add them to almost any dish and you'll get a nice, crisp, flavorful bite full of important beneficial nutrients. Enjoy!